Look, I can't believe I'm saying this, but is there such a thing as too much storage?
Well, that's the question we're going to try to answer when we go through this today. This is the 333 Rets North Trail. Now, I've got some footage of one of these last year. They've done some minor tweaks, but there's some nice things. And overall, if I was just going to kind of try to give you the Cliff Notes version of this RV, it almost reminds me of the conversation that Lloyd Christmas and Harry had in Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, every time I think I couldn't be more disappointed in you, you do something like this and completely redeem yourself. Like, this RV does so many things really, really well. And then it just has a couple silly glaring issues. For the most part, I think these are things that could pretty much be worked around. But I'm going to try to really represent this fairly as we go through. Show you the good with the bad with everything in between. Because this is a large trailer. It represents a lot of very hard-earned money that you put in, and I want to make sure that you're getting your second camper the first time. So what are some things that it's doing really well here? Well, you've got, it's like a fifth wheel without the extra steps, so you're not going up and down the stairs all the time. Very handy if you've had like knee surgery or knee replacements or anything like that, hips. It has a true 2-inch sidewall, which is very rare in travel trailers, and the outer layer of that is Asdo. The underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated, and they're generally pretty good on most of their models, although, you know what, now that I say that, I haven't checked this one, about putting their gate valves up in the underbelly. They tend to be pretty good about that. This also has about the biggest front pass-through storage compartment you will ever find, because that is what's below that just giant mega closet in the front of that thing, which, by the way, you might have noticed was washer-dryer prepped if you want to throw a combo unit in there. So if you want to do some really long, like, seasonal camping or something like that, this might be a good option for you. All the windows on the campsite, carpetless, some really sweet features here. It's a king bed, and with the way that they've set their bed deck up here, sizing that down might be a little bit of a trick, maybe not impossible. One of the other things I've noticed, not all the windows open for airflow, and it does have some pretty limited awning capacity. And just like that, I will make sure you get to see the good with the bad as we go. There's a couple other really awesome features, a couple other little hiccup glitchy things as we go. Let me know what you like and dislike, and let's get started.
Now, I think the best way I can describe the decor on this as compared to last year is they just softened it up a little. They kind of blended and met in the middle on the color contrast on things, because last year, like, all of your sofas were almost like a jet black. And then any of this fascia woodwork stuff that was like a natural wood tone, it was like a raw, light-colored, butcher's block color of wood. And they've kind of softened that down. Now, also, like, you see the color of those little sofa side stand end tables over there. First of all, I love how big those are. You can actually set dinner plates on those in perfect household outlet position. Hallelujah. But they are transitioning over to solid surface countertops in these, which I think it kind of just completes the look for me a little bit. Now, they're a 6.5-inch sidewall, but they have a mini vaulted laminated roof, very similar to like a Palomino Solaire or, Flagstaff or something like that. And it's fully walkable. You'll see that there's prep for roof mount on the back. By default, you've got a single centralized air. You'll see today that on this unit, it's 50 amp, and we've added the central air conditioner, or second air conditioner to it, pardon me, which is non-centralized. I don't want to act like I'm trying to bleed those words together. We'll see that in the bedroom. Carpetless marine woven slide floor, no heat vents in the floor, so very easy cleaning. And this is a plywood floor decking. The floor is actually one of the only things in this RV that is not laminated. I think the idea behind that is making sure that, if you do spend an extended time in this, you don't end up with any funky soft spots or anything. Maximize window coverage over on the campsite of the RV. Is there anybody who doesn't like as many windows as possible on the campsite? I mean, what is, maybe I'm making the assumption there, but it's based on a lot of input from viewers. In my personal experience, I personally prefer windows on the campsite, but is there anybody who doesn't like them there? I don't know. Now, take a look at this entertainment center. And I don't know why my voice just jumped a couple octaves. It does that all the time. So many RVs, they mount the television way up here. And if you recline in the theater seat, yeah, it's not bad. But I don't always want to sit there reclined. Sometimes it's nice just to plop down real quick and be able to watch TV, That's exactly what you can do here. An awesome, awesome viewing angle. Down below, we got the electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster. It is in heatless mode right now. That's one of the other cool things. Even in summertime, it just gives you a very cool visual aesthetic. And the other thing, it can act as a neat little subtle, warm night light. If you've got a guest or, a little or something like that sleeping on your hide-a-bed back here, we'll get that all opened up and show you that in a few minutes. Got the little, peekaboo oven light over there so you can see, the pigeon that you hit on the way to the campground. You can see how it's cooking in that easy bake little 16-inch oven right there. But that does mean that it also has a bigger storage compartment down below. Working our way around here, you've got, because they don't have a double wide fridge, which is nice for extra storage, but because it's a, single wide fridge, now it sounds like I'm talking about trailer parks, you've got a monstrously large pantry on this, and there's really good prep space in here. And they did something with the island I think is awesome. They offset the sink. I prefer it greatly when manufacturers do that, because when that big farm sink is in use, you still have dedicated prep space right next to you, and it adds more room for more drawers, which I think is a really, really cool feature. Now, something else is it almost feels a little bit interestingly residential. Notice something over here on this wall. You see where all those plugs are on the right-hand side? If I get a little bit closer, you see that one of those is coax. So you could actually, like some people in their homes, when they're cooking up a storm in the kitchen, they like to have a second TV going over here, something like that. That is something you could do here. I'd be curious, is that a feature that, it costs virtually nothing to put in, so I don't think it hurts anything, but is that something more RVs should do? I don't know, what do you think there? And they had a little bit of a gap to fill because the RV was so long. So they just kind of gussied this up a little bit. I like that extra window. There's a full viewing window in the door. But then down here, you got this little mini shelf, but it's got a power outlet. You see it over there on the right-hand side. So I think what I would do, I'd throw a wireless phone charge pad there, so that if I was sitting outside listening to music, Bluetooth, and off my phone or something like that, I could pop inside, grab the phone. Maybe I got a call. Any sort of little ideas or concepts like that. Up top here, let's take a look. I do want to point out real quick, you might notice the slide side windows don't open for airflow. Again, I'll point out good with the bad. I do like the overall just color aesthetic of that accented slide sidewall though. But take a look at this. Another one of the really good features they put in here. Blackout roller shades. Little details like that are really, really slick. Now, that's a wall-hugging theater recliner cinema sofa that Mr. Richard Vale, regular viewer, is going to be spitting nails and fit to be tied when he sees, because it is not cuddle compliant. That middle armrest does not remove on those. But you can see there's storage all around this rear sofa. It's a little bit of you got to juggle it open with your head kind of storage. And there's storage compartments on either side of that sofa right there. But this sofa, I call it a Swiss Army sofa. You can obviously sit on it, you can lounge on it, you can kick your feet up, and it converts into a tri-fold sleeper sofa in a different way. It's not super duper long. If I lay on it backwards so that you can have a better understanding of my feet against the wall and how long it actually is. But if I was sleeping on it normally with a pillow, my feet would probably be hanging off the bed. But you could also just get rid of the little cushion that you use to convert it into a sleeper sofa and use it just as a storage slide open ottoman, which is neat. Now it's actually almost on a roller drawer system, so it doesn't really pop out of there. Keep that in mind. You see the TV can pop around a couple different ways. So no matter where you're at, the main TV does service pretty well, whether you're at the dining table, the theater seat, the sofa, the whatever. That is a 12-volt DC compressor fridge. And you might have noticed, North Trail, it seems like they do this a lot. The only place in the RV you really ever see wiring is directly under the sink. And it's always just sort of thrown under there. It's not run and done cleanly. And again, it's one of those little areas that's come on, guys. I know I can fix this and I can redirect it. And it's not it'll really cost anything, but it just, I just kind of wish it wasn't there. But again, like I said, shooting you straight, telling you what she is, telling you what she ain't. Let's go up to the bedroom. Let's go up here, and I'll try not to forget the bathroom, but I promise to make no promises on that, basically. I've got a bad record of forgetting after I bypass it. This is that optional second air conditioner, and it's one of the only options even available on a North Trail. For the most part, these things are like the definition of cookie cutter RV production, where they punch it out of the mold, then they make the next one, and they basically, the idea is to make them all look the same. It keeps the it keeps the price down, and it helps production quite a bit. Now, this is a 72 by 80 king bed in here, but if you notice, they really occupy the entire slide box. Like, there's not a big gap under the mattress, which means if you wanted to go down to a queen size bed, it would probably not be quite as big as the bed base. This is one of the only times I've ever seen somebody do that. Now, once again, just like above the sofa, looking at the storage up there, you can see where there's, great overhead storage, but again, no struts. A little holdback or something like that would, again, be very easy and inexpensive to add. But once again, it just kind of feels like, anyway. But this front closet, it's ridiculous. And it's the first time I've ever asked the question, is that too much storage? Is it too big? Because, I mean, it's huge. I've never seen a front closet that big, even in like any fifth wheel I've ever been in, with a very small exception of like maybe one literal walk-in closet in a few fifth wheels. But that is the biggest front closet I've ever seen in a travel trailer. As you saw, you've got the prep in there for a combo washer dryer as well. Now, you might notice, because it's like got that big flat bottom deck. Not to be confused with, Freddie Mercury's song about his favorite naughty nanny. Anyway, a flat bottom. Sorry, I'm on the Queen reference kick lately here. What I'm getting at is there's that full pass-through that we're going to see when we go outside of the RV out there. They do something that's really good. A lot of manufacturers of travel trailers who make a front closet, they will sacrifice the front outside storage. And then, because the RV has a bed slide, there's no other place to really put good outside storage, and you end up with absolute crap for outside storage. And you're not going to have that here. But, speaking of crap, let's take a look at the toilet space, shall we? Very fluffy friendly in this one. If you wanted to swap out to a porcelain, no big deal there. They do an excellent job of giving us some good linen space over here, which is something I really welcome. Then over here on the right-hand side, the headroom felt like it might be a little tight to me, but I could move my hair, or well, not my hair, that's a joke, head around and not hit anything, but elbow room in a radius shower, that can be a little bit limited. And I know that that could be a deal breaker right there. And what I'm about to show you with road mode could potentially be a deal breaker. But I hope you appreciate the fact that we don't shy away from that stuff. And we let you know what is and what ain't, so that you can know if this is or ain't the one for you. And I'll make this short. When you close that super slide over here on the door side, unless you're a skinny mini, you ain't getting through there. I could probably butt scoot buggy over that thing a little bit, but even if you could, sadly, you are not able to get to the refrigerator on this one. You can get to the bedroom, you can get to the bathroom, but that is just about it here for road mode.
Now, something we haven't covered so far, let's talk towing. What's it going to take to move this big sucker around? Well, I got the specs back up here on the screen for you. Given its weight and its length and its general size and characteristics overall, even though it has those wide stance stability axles, I still feel like even if this was lighter weight, it's just too big for most half tons. The longer the trailer, the more easily it will introduce sway into your towing equation. Think of it like if you're trying to move a rock with a like a staff. The longer the staff, the larger the prop, the easier it is to move that rock, right? I think Archimedes talked about that, actually. Archimedes, by the way, the name of the owl for one of my very favorite cartoons ever growing up, The Sword in the Stone. Any Sword in the Stone fans out there? That's I could sit down and watch that movie all day, every day, even still today. That's probably what got me into my whole nerdy, I like wizards and dragons kind of kick in my life. A little, shape the RV nerd moment there. Anyway, what I'm getting at is a longer trailer will more easily push around a lighter vehicle. So, sometimes people say, yeah, well, I mean, I've got a tow package, half ton or whatever with, that can tow 13,000 pounds. Yeah, I understand that. It can pull it, but handling it is kind of sometimes a little bit of a different thing. And you know what? If there's some owners out there who have a specific half-ton pickup that are towing this successfully, leave some comments. Personally, I would not do it. Now, you saw that monstrously large size front storage compartment there with a solar charge controller that will feed up to the roof solar ready plug, because they've made this solar ready instead of solar prep, meaning essentially just plug and play a panel and you're pretty much good to go. But this does have limited awning space. It's not terrible, like you've got enough for a picnic table down here, but it is a single awning RV. So the question, actually some customers yesterday were asking, well, how much is it to put a second awning on the face of the slide? And the thing is, I'll shoot you straight, and I'll tell you, and this literally, like, they were ready to buy this thing until I said, you can't, and we won't, because there is not structure in the face of that awning, or slide out to accept an awning, and I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I'm just not going to do that. So an alternative idea I threw to them was, since you have that redonkulously sized front storage compartment, what if you had like one of those, big easy up screen rooms that you could put over here? Now, certainly, it's another thing that you have to set up when you get to your campsite. But a big RV like this strikes me as the type of rig that will mostly stay parked at one location. You're not setting it up and tearing it down with great frequency. So I think that idea has a little more merit here than it would in some other RVs. But, that's just kind of my 2 cents and my idea. I'd be sort of curious to know what you think about that. Now, the windows are lightly tinted. It's interesting. They didn't go with a real heavy tint. It's kind of, I don't know that I've ever seen a brand really just kind of split the difference like that too often. Then again, it is very well lit on the inside, and that might just be skewing what's on the camera here. Again, not every window opens for airflow. One thing I do want to mention, I think I forgot to talk about this. I'm sorry. Like, you look over here, and you're like, okay, breeze window. What a bunch of dingbats. Why didn't they make that one open for airflow? It does. That's actually the fire escape window, which is funny because a lot of manufacturers, just to meet fire code, will make a little window like this, their little fire escape window. And don't get me wrong, you're right next to the entry door anyway. I think if you need to escape a fire, if you had to, you could do the Wile E. Coyote wall punch method and, leave your impression upon the world to get out of there. But that window does open for airflow, just to let you know. Down here, every North Trail has some variety of outside cooker, basically. If it's a model like this without a camp kitchen, it will come with the bumper grill. If it's a camp kitchen, it usually comes with like a stove top or a griddle or whatever the case may be. And just below that marker light off the side, there is one of those little gas grill cooker hookers over there. Now, she does not have a factory ladder, but you might notice it does have that bracket if you want to get one of those telescopic extension ladders. And if you don't know where to get those, like, you can just Google RV extension ladder or something like that, or telescopic RV ladder. And telescopic, does it matter? Anyway, like octopodes, octopi, anyway. That's also something we could very easily get for you. Typically, we try to keep a couple on the shelf at most of our stores anyway. Now, working our way around here, I mentioned the 2-inch thick sidewalls with Asdel layering on the outside. North Trail's all standard, just power stabilizer jacks, no manuals, no automatic. That's just how they do right there. Push that button and you're done. Underbelly is forced air heated and enclosed. And let me get you over here a little bit because, so this RV technically does have 2 sewer outlets, but hear me out here. First of all, you might notice the gate valves on this are enclosed. I couldn't remember at the beginning of this video if they did or not. They're sometimes weirdly inconsistent on that. So that is actually the drain to all of the holding tanks. All your fresh, your gray, or not your fresh, your gray and your black tanks all drain out of there. But if we move up front here, in front of that stabilizer jack, you might notice another outlet. Keep that in the memory banks. We'll get up there in a second. On the way through, outside shower. Under the headboard area of the bed, we have another storage compartment. So this one actually having some pretty decent outside storage. Let me get you up here, though, where we were talking about. So I said that all of your holding tanks empty out of one sewer outlet. So what the crap is this thing? Well, that right there is a drain exclusively straight off of the washer-dryer unit. That is kind of the funny thing. A lot of people, man, I want a 21-foot travel trailer with a washer-dryer hookup. They don't have the room in the underbelly for holding tanks large enough to service a washer dryer unit. Even a combo washer dryer will still, it'll just flood a gray tank very, very quickly. So what a lot of manufacturers do, like when you're in a big Eagle or Reflection, it's not uncommon for brands like that to have like a dedicated 35-gallon holding tank exclusively for the washer dryer, which is sometimes why their gray holding capacities look way, way, way big on that RV. This does not have a holding tank for the washer dryer unit. Basically, if you're going to use it, you pretty much want something like an on-site sewer or a hefty little blue tote tank or something like that, because it just drains straight out. Now, of course, it has a gate valve, a blade valve. Although I'm looking at that valve, and again, I try to be fair, look at the way that handle's positioned, pointing straight down. That's stupid. That was stupid. That was badly done. The good news is it could be turned so that it's not going to get ripped off on the next speed bump or gas station entrance that you go through. Ever notice, have you ever gone through a campground with a smooth driveway? I never have. I don't think they exist. And the ones that are paved and are smooth, they got stupid speed bumps, don't they? It just needs to be moved. It's little things like that. Remember I said, this RV does so many really good things, and there's just a couple glaring little issues like that. They can be addressed, but it's like, come on, guys, you know. But overall, what do you think? Let me know what you think about this thing. So I have to thank you once again for joining us today. Now, if you like the RV, I'll leave you a link in the video description where you can check for pricing and availability at whatever our Bish's RV stores carry this brand and this model. If you like the layout, but maybe it's close but no cigar, also check the links in the video description. I will leave you some similar floor plans from some different brands. Maybe one just kind of fits you a little bit better, and it actually will be, well, cigar. Anyway, thank you again for watching, folks. If you appreciate the fair way we do these things, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.